T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
The following program is rated TVMA for language. We want everyone to be able to enjoy the program, but sometimes things happen, and we may say things that may be offensive to some or non-conducive to others. So in other words, shit happens. Oops.
Niggas coming.
I owe y'all from last week. I know I told y'all my son and I were going to do it. We'll get into the nigga what you've been doing, but let's start it off the right way.
Cheers, my guy.
Welcome to another all-new episode of Blerds in the Hood. I'm your resident supervillain, MrJayWashington.
And I'm the Swaggy Blerd Winston A. Marshall.
I want to acknowledge this first comment straight out the gate. Seattle KL says, I think I've seen Jay Washington on the Ziply Fiber ads, but I'm not sure if it's him or not. It absolutely is him. That is definitely me in the Ziply Fiber commercial, which I meant realize, they say the camera ad's about 10 to 15 pounds because I was like, ain't no goddamn way I was that big in that damn ad. I said, I want to fight everybody, but that was me. I saw that shit right now. I was like, hey, man, when I saw them, I was like, yo, normally I repost the ads, man, whatever. Thank you to everyone who has rocked with us. Again, I know we're a day late, but I blame Winston primarily, because he wanted to go run to a basketball game. I'm talking shit. But that's why we're a day late. But there was so much, because we were going to do this where it was going to be just me with one of our producers. But I was like, nah, him and I were having a discussion. And this is no shade or disrespect to either Dwayne or Matt. But him and I were having a discussion. And we're like, the things we were talking about, we needed to be able to talk about these things together on air because of the way of the discussion, the banter, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where we are, man. We appreciate everybody. Listen, if you've been sharing the show, if you've been sharing the podcast, if you've been letting people know about this wholeheartedly, we truly appreciate you all. I keep saying this all the time to the members of the neighborhood. We can't grow without you all. And if you all want us to do a whole lot more, we've got to continue to build these numbers. And we can do our parts here, which we are going to do, but the rest of it is on you all. So from there, I will send it over to my brother.
Absolutely, man. Please, if you haven't already, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we're live or we drop new videos. If you're on Twitch, man, thank you for watching over on Twitch. Huge shout out to all the people that are following there. If you have, if you feel inclined to sub, please do that. Or if you got them Prime subs, man, they're free. Anybody that's got an Amazon account, if you go on to Twitch, those are free. You get one of those a month, and it helps the show out, man. They shoot us roughly about $5 for that. So for anybody that got the time to do that, want to pop over and support the show, you can't put in a Streamlab or a Venmo or anything like that. That's a free way for you that helps us. But I'm happy to be here. Thank you for being patient with us, doing it a day later. And like Jay said, as you can see from the title, I mean, we're really going to be talking a lot about the roast. We'll get into that in a little bit. That's the main reason we wanted to do this together, because there's so much to talk about as far as, the state of comedy, the jokes that were going on there, how society has responded to. We got a lot to cover, man. And of course, we got to talk about how, we're going back to Jim Crow. So that's fun too. But with that, I'm going to start with you because you had the bigger weekend, Mr. Jay Washington.
My nigga.
A nigga moment.
Man. Nigga.
My nigga.
What you been doing?
So for those who remember or don't know, last week I recorded, clearly I lived.
There was concern.
There was
a lot of concern.
Nigga, there was concern, nigga. I was in Indianapolis for my son's college graduation. My son, my only boy, graduated college from the Indiana University, Bloomington. Man, I got a chance to be a part of that with him, spend time with him. The graduation was on Saturday, but it was a whole thing leading up to it. I got down there Wednesday, did the show with you guys Wednesday. When I tell y'all, after I got done with the show last week, I passed out immediately. I was so tired from traveling all day. Thursday, his mom was supposed to go pick him up after she got off work and doing a half day, but her car started acting up, so she couldn't go get him, and she was freaking out and mad because she had to spend more money on her car. And I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna just go get a car. And then his older cousin, who was coming in too, who was initially supposed to. So what was gonna happen was on Thursday, my son's mom was gonna pick him up and half of his stuff and come back. And then Friday, his cousin was gonna go grab the rest of his stuff. So I was gonna rent a car, but then we was like, no, I'm gonna just rent a U-Haul. And we went down there to pick up. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna rent a U-Haul. And so his mom was freaking out. I was like, yo, I'll just come get you and his brother, and we all can just ride down there together. So we rode down, picked him up from college, picked him up out of his dorm. He wasn't ready at all. At all.
Wait. So wait a minute. Y'all had to help fucking pack that bitch up, didn't you?
Let me tell you, this motherfucker he quote unquote had a final he had to finish, which he did.
Okay.
But he hadn't started packing. So he was like, oh man, I thought I would have had some time. Y'all was flying. No, nigga, the sheets was still on the bed. So he hadn't even started. Now here's the problem. Here's the thing. My son was in like again the dorms where they have like four of the students in like one communal area, whatever, for the men. And you know, it was cool packing them up. But I will say this: for a 4-room dorm full of boys, that shit smelled like hot, wet, open ass. Like you niggas couldn't open no windows.
Jesus.
That shit smelled so bad. That shit smelled like
dirty gym socks. Not.
That shit smelled like loose booty cheeks and Papa John's pizza. I said, why? He was like, man, we can't open the windows. You bitches couldn't buy incense or nothing. What the
Oh shit.
My son doesn't drink or smoke, which I'm very proud of him for that, because of that I didn't drink or smoke at all the entire week. But so we go pick him up, you know, after we get all this stuff, we get back, we go. So his cousin had an outing set. We go to activate games, bro. We gotta go do this shit. There's 3 out this way.
Okay.
You gotta go. First of all, you go with like active wear. You can't go in jeans and some like you need to go where you finna do some work, because like it's different events and shit, and you moving, and it's so fucking fun, but it will test your body limits. You're like, oh my god, this is a workout and a half. I'll send you the link to it. So we go to that. Okay. But I'm gonna get to the graduation itself real quick. Saturday morning when we all got together was cool. We all was dressed, we was going down, and we went, it was cool. We went to Dave & Buster's. Also, I gotta say this real fast, and I hope they don't mind me saying this. This is to a lot of dudes who are fathers, you're not even a father, you're just a sperm donor. I really despise you. There are a lot of men who are not in their sons' lives for whatever fucked up reason it may be. And I had a situation where my son has a younger brother where I have always, for me, been like, I've never looked at my son's younger brother as different because he's not mine. Whenever I've taken my son out, when I've gone to get him in the past, I bring his brother along. It's been times I've gone to get my son, and he'll tell his brother, be like, yo, you coming? And his brother be like, no, you should be with your dad. And I'm like, no, tell him he can come. And just knowing how my son's brother's dad ain't shit. This nigga's a piece of trash. This motherfucker's a waste of oxygen. And my son's brother is amazing. But I've realized he has not had the pleasure of having a real man to guide him and have conversations with him that he needs to have. He graduates from high school next week. And if my son is watching this, or even his brother is watching this, I want to say to Isaiah again, I told you something when we were all together on Friday that I will tell you again today that I know you don't hear outside of probably your mom's or your brother. I'm proud of you. I'm fucking proud of you, and I mean it. You are growing up to be a very, very strong young man. I know you keep reserved, and I know a lot of things hurt and shit like that, and I get it, but I'm very fucking proud of you. So please know that from me. All right. I said
yes, sir. This nigga spitting. Damn, nigga.
I'll say it again. I said it down there. If you need anything from me, please reach out to me. But we get to the graduation, man, and I was cool for a second. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be good. Yo, I'm just, I know this is gonna be emotional. Fuck it, we're gonna be on our supervillain shit. We're gonna give them the hugs, we're gonna get the love, we're gonna meet his friends who've been wanting to meet you. And the first thing we do, they have all the graduates' names printed out on the walls around the stadium. Again, the stadium where the national champion Indiana Hoosiers play. And we go and we find his name at the Luddy College of Informatics, Computer, and Engineering, which is what my son's degree is in. And we found his name, and I was like, yo, there your shit go. And all of a sudden, nigga, I started weeping. Nigga, I was in tears. I was a proverbial mess. I was a mess. I was trying to hold it.
I'm coming in because I'm trying to remember specifically what got said between us. I said to you, yo, first, huge congrats on the graduation this weekend. I know you were proud, if you didn't die at the Comfort Inn. And then because it was Mother's Day, I said I was sending you love. And you were like, I appreciate that. And you go, it was a Red Roof Inn, never do that again. And the graduation had me in full-blown tears. And thanks. I'm just trying to keep it moving, to keep my mind from being exhausted. And then what you said, like after the ceremony, he went to go kick it with the homies, which was cool. But him walking off felt like a movie where I had to let my baby boy go and walk away a man.
No, this is literally what I was getting to. So after the graduation, all the graduates want to kick it and celebrate. But my son was like, yo, you leave at 6 a.m. I kind of, I don't want to stay, but I don't know how you gonna feel, blah, blah, blah. And we were both going back and forth. And his mom was like, well, he said he don't want to go and he should go with his first round. And I was like, yo, listen, you do what you want to do. If you don't feel comfortable, just go back home. I said, we're gonna be good. We'll see each other, I'll catch up with you real soon. And so he was like, you sure? And I'm like, are you sure? And he was like, all right, bet. And so he was get ready to go to homie. So I gave him the hug and everything and told him how much I loved him and told him I was proud of him again. And I'm watching him literally walk off to be with his homies. And it did feel like one of those montage moments where you find yourself seeing your baby boy leave the chapter of life of being your baby boy and walking off into being a man. And for as cheesy as it may sound, for as all those things, watching my son walk into his manhood, knowing what he's gone through to just finish college, knowing the personal struggles. And again, I start crying again because that's how emotional shit gets me. But knowing his personal struggles and having been there with him in the hours long time, like I was telling his mom, I said, you don't understand. Him and I have had numerous days back to back of hours long conversations where he was depressed and I had to be there for him and, hold on to him and uplift him. Even in the midst of my depression, I had to forego my shit because I couldn't let him, he needed me and I needed to be there for him. And so to watch that was a beautiful thing to me. And like right now he's bored as fuck because he don't have shit to do for the week. But he starts work again next week. And again, he'll always have a career, bro. He has a major in informatics, which is basically he can build a database. He's already built 2 databases. He can build robots. He knows how to program robots. He knows how to code. He has a double minor. One of his minors is like basically in human and computer hybrid information, basically AI and something else. So I'm so fucking proud of him, man. And then it was like, as soon as I got back, I knew I had to get, even though I was tired, I had to get back to the grind of things. And so on Mother's Day, which is the last day of the Netflix fest, I had to be out and about and then, trying to do all these things. And it's just been a nonstop go. And I apologize for taking up all this time, man, but it's just, good, man. That has been my week because I am so fucking proud of him. Not, so I say that. But with that all being said, Mr. Winston A. Marshall.
He wasn't looking. I will do it, man.
My nigga. Nigga.
A nigga moment.
Man. Nigga. My nigga. What you been doing?
All good. I'm sure he had other stuff
Nigga,
going on.
hold on, real quick. I just saw this. This is the realest shit ever.
Dude, no, but that's what. So my response, literally, I will say my response when he said that, I was like, bro, I wish I could do 2 emoji responses because that is legit, incredibly touching and fucking hilarious.
Hilarious.
But I 1000% agree. Directed by John Singleton, bro. Like that is exactly how that ends.
It is so
yeah. So myself, man, what have I been doing? So this past weekend, Kristen, I think I mentioned this when we did our last show, but Kristen left town for a funeral. So I was by myself like Wednesday through Sunday. And you know, it was one of those things though where I didn't really get the chance to be by myself. I obviously was staying by myself, but like I had to go to so many different events that were either scheduled or people needed me to, or I had to work or all this other stuff that like the only thing that really kind of sucked about it is when you then have that moment to be like, oh, I don't have my partner here. It's just me. Those are those moments where you're like, cool, I'm just going to get real stoned and sit around, or I'm going to, you know, go watch a game at a sports bar or something like that. And I just didn't have time to do that. So that was something that I wish I had had time for. That would have been nice. But I think the thing that ended up being really good for me, I had lost touch with a friend of mine from college a couple years back. And we kind of had like a little bit of a weird falling out. And, you know, I had reached out to him around Christmas because I had found out that his mom had passed a little bit prior. And I just was like, hey, man, I didn't know. I just heard the news about it. I am so incredibly sorry. Like, and I know I haven't been a good friend. I haven't been around. So I really would love to catch up if that's a possibility at some point. And, you know, we talked over text for a while. He invited me over to come play poker with him and some of our mutual friends and a friend of his. And it was really good to be able to reconnect with my homie. And I think the part of me that was so mentally and emotionally exhausted from the last few weeks, and honestly really didn't even necessarily want to go, not because I didn't want to see my friend, but because I didn't have anything left in the tank. I was so grateful that I did end up going and that we were able to reconnect like that. And in the process, my sister came over to watch Asia for me. I wasn't gone for super long, but I felt bad because since I had to keep going to work, I was leaving Asia a lot. And so then me and my sister got a chance to catch up for a little bit too. And then there was some drama with Mother's Day where I had kind of been planning to take my mom to that opening game of the Sparks versus the Aces. And then she refused to go and didn't want to go. And then ultimately she changed her mind and decided to go. And then we, you know, she told me after the fact, like that was the greatest Mother's Day that she's ever had, which was really cool that went down. But it was a lot of emotional torment going on through those days for it to ultimately work out and go in the right direction, which was just like a beautiful thing. And I think it really kind of gave me the perspective of even when things are low, as long as you find your way to center yourself and to keep pushing forward and you put yourself in the right positions, things will ultimately work themselves out. And I just felt really grateful to have that happen. And so now, as far as what's been going on, you know, I've got my my part of this film. I can't say much more, but I'm actually shooting it myself and being directed from afar. I can't say anything other than that. So I got to take care of that in the next 24 hours. Just got booked on a potential YouTube show for an episode, which would be really cool of a project. I'll tell you all more about that as that unfolds. And I think the thing that I'm most excited about right now, and we won't go after dark with it, but my meet/sex anniversary to Kristen was yesterday. You thought I was just talking about meat. You just So we're doing a week long like sex averse, where every day is a different thing that we're doing, which is dope. So we're getting out of here on time today because I got things to do.
Nigga, first of all, listen, hold on for a second. My meat. Wait, whoa, brother. You started it off by saying, wait a minute. I don't want this to get too after dark. So my meat. Hey, yo! Oh, I forgot to bring this up too, bro. I don't have money. Nigga, do you understand? I looked at after having to buy a U-Haul, paying for food, gas, and let me tell you what my son did too. When I got the death trap of the motel room, I got based off where they was living at, or so I thought. I did not know that his mom them had moved 7 months ago, and my son never told me. So I'm taking Ubers back and forth. And bro, when I tell you, hey, what I'm saying is, if y'all really want to donate and help today to refund me, or to give it to this my college graduate, that'd be a blessing. Because I am flat fucking broke. But also, you got to be able to meet anniversary, which is so weird. Also,
that's not what it was. I understand, because my ADHD brain, bro. If someone doesn't finish a sentence fast enough, my brain will finish it for them, and it's clear that's what happened in this particular case. It's me and Kristen. It's about meat. What?
Kristen and I have this thing. It's called our meat aver. You see how wording that phrase makes it so much better?
No, I get it.
It was like my meat. Nigga, what?
Yep. No, that's fine. I'll take that L. That's fine. I get it. I could have worded that better. But it happened.
Streamlabs.com/Blerds in the Hood /tip if you want to support. Streamlabs.com/Blerds in the Hood /tip if you want to support. You can also do Cash Apps and Venmos respectively. Thank you to everybody that's in the neighborhood right now. Shouts out to Drew Jones. Drew and I had lunch earlier, and it was so good to catch up with Drew. And she's doing so much, so many amazing things, and I'm so proud of her. And also, let me say this, and nigga, she found it in Frog Hair in person. She was always cold, but goddamn, Drew, I realized I was gonna wait because I was waiting for the show to say this. I got a lot of baddies as friends, and they are just friends. And I'm like, I'm collecting baddies like Pokemons. I gotta catch them all, and like they are just
nigga hush.
So my question is, are you just like Professor Oak? So you just like catch them and study them and talk about them, or like, nigga, do you actually battle? That's my question.
No, I just study them.
I mean, if you just out here catching,
where you're going,
catching Mewtwo's and Articunos, my nigga, are you using said Articunos? Or
I found a Mewtwo. I'm using that motherfucker. Right, me a Mewtwo.
Yo, what's making me laugh?
This is
Blerd. Did not have this smoke at lunch.
Did not at all. He saved it all because he knew you said you was gonna watch the show. But no, we had a great. But all bullshit aside, we had a great conversation. We talked about a lot, and it's always good to have a good, real conversation with people. And Drew is one of those people, so I'm definitely grateful and thankful for her. And I said that in all sincerity. Real quick, we got a quick Streamlab came in early. Fred Taxi 314. Thank you so much. Says, hey Blerds. Showing love for my dudes with Jim Crow 2.0 and dumbass chuds happening. I'm getting my second and third win to repel the stupid arguments that I know are going to arise. Thanks for doing a live show, regardless of the day it's on. I'm here for it. Look, we could talk about that. It's whole thing with that chuds dude. I think he's gonna run up on. I'm gonna say this real fast.
Hold on, before you do it, gotta catch a ball, cooch in mine.
Gotcha, bitch.
Hey, man, you know what?
I didn't do that. That's your producer, bro. He's the one that decided to play that shit.
I just want to make sure I got my hands in the air. So what?
It's right here. Hands up, don't shoot. I didn't do
it. Wow. With all the shit we're going to talk about, that was the one we went to. You know what? Okay.
Hey, so, look, we're going to have to talk about it. But but
I'll say this real quick with the church shit. He's gonna run up on the one part. Like a lot of black people I've seen, overwhelming majority of black people I've seen know what dude is trying to do.
Yep.
And like, man, get your dumb ass on. But also, he does it in states where he knows he can do it.
1,000%.
Because if he goes to somewhere where like he's not going to go to Illinois, case in point, because also you can't just open carry and openly brandish, right? He's not going to go to those places where you gonna go and or he's not gonna go to New York because he knows he gonna get his motherfucking earlobe stomped together, and them niggas is not gonna care. They're not gonna care.
What I'm just hoping happens, and it looks like it's moving that direction, but we'll see that this motherfucker will go to jail for attempted murder, because the problem is it's not just the fact that he's out here provoking people the way that he was, which he obviously was. It's also tied to the fact that there are tweets out there of him actively saying the series finale of this is when I end up shooting some black people and killing them. He actively said it was something he was planning on doing. So that by itself, that's enough evidence to be like, nah, nigga, this was planned. You need to go to jail. And I hope that he goes to jail for an extremely long time. As a matter of fact, throw away the key, but knowing how this works, let this nigga catch 25, bro.
Yo, just put him in Gen Pop immediately.
I mean, you put him in Gen Pop, the Aryan Brotherhood better find him quickly, otherwise he is dead.
He gonna run his mouth too much. I guarantee they'll put his ass out. He runs his mouth too much. From all the interviews I've watched with ex-prisoners and ex-cons and shit like that, there's a certain level and decorum you have to have, and trying to be that big and bad coming in the door, they'll shut that bitch ass nigga up real quick. Anyway, let's get right into it. If my producer is looking at all of them that are in Blerds, every single asset, just so you know. So like I said, last week was the Netflix is a Joke Fest that went down all throughout Los Angeles. And on Sunday, it all culminated with the roast of Kevin Hart live on Netflix. I think live is a very important statement to make here. That went down from the Forum in Inglewood. It was hosted by Shane Gillis. Now, there is on the dais, I have a very large picture. I think if I put that one in there, Matt, it should be. I hope I did. If not, that is on me. Was hosted by Shane Gillis, but also on the dais for people such as the Roastmaster General Jeff Ross, Lizzo, Draymond Green, Chelsea Handler, Big J Okerson, Naeem Lynn, Cheryl Underwood, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Regina Hall, who was added last minute, which, by the way, let's get this out the way. Everyone kept saying, why did no one have smoke for Regina Hall? Because no one knew she was going to be there. No one knew she was going to be there, okay?
It also explains why she looked annoyed the whole show.
Again, I think, granted, different things. There were a lot of highlights throughout the evening. One of the biggest ones for me was Naeem Lynn, who was one of the Plastic Cup Boys, who's been one of Kevin's regular openers for over 20 plus years. And Naeem stood up, showed up, and showed out. I've hung out with Naeem a bunch of times. Naeem killed it, did what he was supposed to do. Chelsea Handler. Chelsea went viral more so for calling out both Tony Hinchcliffe and Shane Gillis, who are so. Here's the thing. Shane Gillis is supposedly not a MAGA comedian. That's who he is. But Tony Hinchcliffe is. If you're wondering who Tony Hinchcliffe is the dude who was at the Puerto Rico Trump rally and the Trump rally, in New York, and called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. People are rightfully pissed. Puerto Ricans were all of a sudden pissed, and I say all of a sudden
because it was like the writing was on the wall of how Trump felt about all this, and y'all were just like, "I will vote
for Donald Trump." You know, so you had Cheryl Underwood, who took a lot of barrage of jokes and things like that, and then went up there and did what she does. And I tell everybody this: you had to pay attention to when you rewatch this roast. I'm giving a quick highlight so we can get to the real work of it. Pay attention. Cheryl Underwood had a pen and paper with her the whole time. She knew that even though she had shit in the prompter, because a lot of people, by the way, for people who kept going, man, they just reading jokes off prompters. Yes.
That's literally, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Cheryl Underwood went in and called out on the racist bullshit she heard. Or one of the racist jokes with Shane Gillis closing his set saying Kevin Hart is so short that when he gets lynched, he has to be hung from a bonsai tree. I was with a group of comics, and every comic did that. Was like, God damn it!
It was one of those ones where I'm like, I remember, and I was both mad, and I was like, God, but it's what we've been saying. If you're going to do something like that, don't miss. You cannot fucking miss.
And it's like it's so fun. And then that brings me right into the next thing, which I have to address right now.
Well,
Tony Hinchcliffe
we're going to have a whole conversation about it. So, yeah, go ahead, man.
Tony Hinchcliffe, during his set, he did his normal jokes, his normal roast jokes, and then ended up closing one of his jokes saying, the black community is so proud. George Floyd is looking up at you, laughing so hard he cannot breathe. Now, in the room, it got groans and laughs, just like everything else. And again, we don't see this. I can go from what the comics I've talked to that were there. There were all shades of people laughing. It's the backlash since then that has come. And this is one of the biggest parts. I'll talk about Cat Williams. I'll talk about Tiana Taylor, all those. We'll get into all of those. The George Floyd joke has sparked a bunch of controversy for it not being funny, first and foremost. It's not. But it invoking the name of George Floyd in a roast. And a lot of people have said consistently, well, what does George Floyd have to do with Kevin Hart? And true enough, he does not have anything to do with it. There has been this discourse and discussion between comedians as well as non-comedians about what is or is not allowed at a roast. I have a long diatribe of thought. You and I have spoken about this at length. I would like to acquiesce to you first before I run on with my mouth.
Here's my thing. Anybody that took offense to the George Floyd joke but didn't take offense to the Charlie Kirk joke, and anybody that took offense to the Charlie Kirk joke but didn't take offense to the George Floyd joke, the first thing I say to you is go fuck yourself, keep the same energy. I need people to see the hypocrisy of how are both of them potentially in bad taste, sure, one way or the other, but they're of the same level of making that sort of argument. And anybody that is only picking one side of that shit, you ain't shit. That's the first thing I'm going to say. But the second thing that Jay and I were on the same page about that when we talked about this, roasts literally are meant to be the most edgelord, pushing the fucking boundary, being like, what are you doing to like genuinely just undercut and say the most wild shit? And I push that even further, that again, anybody that was upset about either of those two jokes, but you apparently have nothing wrong with them making consistent jokes about Cheryl's husband killing himself. You have no issue with all the jokes about Pete's dad dying in 9/11. Like I genuinely need you to take a look at yourself as far as why you're getting all bent out of shape about this one way or the other. And to that point, understanding specifically what this is one way or the other. Now, does that mean that there are things that at in any of those kind of scenarios you could cross the line? Sure. But like, that's the thing that like, I think is just really weird for me, is it really got back to the idea of I'm just upset about my side being offended and not really then taking umbrage across the board. And I'm tired of that shit, because that, again, what this was meant to be ridiculous. But Jay, I'm curious your more specific thoughts, bro.
Okay. I'm writing a note down to myself just to make sure I had everything I wanted to say.
Okay.
The biggest thing I've heard from friends, associates, people throughout social media is one phrase that it kept starting off with. In this climate. And yes, in this climate, I completely understand why the emotion is higher. You know, I've saw people go, in this climate where voting rights are being taken away and this and that. I'm like, yes, I hear you. But that doesn't change the fact that the jokes were going to happen, or also more so anything, there has been a different climate for different shit every time a roast has happened, right? I also say this to you all. The only reason you know about the George Floyd joke is because it was live. That is why I stressed it when I first said it.
What do you mean?
Probably like, Jay, what do you mean by that? When we bring up the Comedy Central roast and all the roasts back in the day, they all had one thing in common.
They were pre-taped.
Edited and pre-taped. Meaning there are a myriad of jokes that hit the cutting room floor that you never saw. And talking to people who were at those tapings, you hate to say it this way, and when you hear it, it's like, damn, there has been shit that was worse said. I understand, Jay, but there was nothing like the situation that happened, you know, seeing this, et cetera, and I'm not dismissing that. What I'm telling y'all is this wasn't live and it was taped. I promise you, the only people that would have told you about that joke were the people that were in the room. Had it been taped,
you think they would have just cut it?
They cut it. Now, some people, I don't know if it's cut now because I know when I watched the replay with a friend, it was there. Here's probably why it's there. People are asking also, why was Tony Hinchcliffe even there? Because everybody on the day. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because as we've seen in a number of these roasts back when they were done on Comedy Central, because Tony, on top of that, if you all remember, he actually crushed the Tom Brady one.
Yes.
They gave him another opportunity to come up again.
But it's more so. It's more than that. Not only did Tony crush during the Tom Brady roast, his podcast, his show, Kill Tony, is now seen where?
Is it on Netflix?
It is on Netflix now. They do tapings for Netflix. Everybody on the dais, him and Big J Okerson started together. They started together. If you even listen to his I Can't Make This Up book, he talks about their relationship with Keith Robinson driving them back and forth from Philly to Jersey, which was hilarious. He was like, "Rest in peace, Keith Robinson," and Keith was sitting right there. He was like, "Nigga, Keith ain't dead."
That was funny. That was really funny.
all over Netflix. So Chelsea Handler. Chelsea had him on her show. She was one of the ones that broke him into the mainstream zeitgeist. She constantly allowed him to be a part of the panel on Chelsea Lately.
You're talking about Kevin?
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's there. Shane. Kevin chose Shane to host it.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Kevin chose Shane to host it. Draymond Green. Draymond told you they play poker every week. Right. Also, Draymond's wife and Kevin's wife are cousins. Okay?
I did know that.
They're cousins. Him and Lizzo are actual friends. Also, Lizzo has something she's supposed to be doing for Netflix. Jeff Ross and him have been friends for over 2 decades.
And Jeff Ross specifically has been a part of every single roast up to a point, because he's been now nicknamed the Roastmaster General. That is his main brand of comedy.
Cheryl Underwood has known him for over 2 decades, and as Cheryl Underwood also said, they've hooked up before. So a lot of
that joke. Wait a minute, that joke where she said, "Don't let him, don't be tricked, ladies. Kevin does have 10 inches in his pants. It's his legs,
but he got 10 inches." So here's where I err on the side again. I know people like this is one of the arguments I've seen a lot that I want to address from everybody. Well, you can't be mad because people were offended if they're supposed to be offended. It's not just that. It's one of those things where you're like, well, I'm offended, so it worked. I think you have to kind of turn your brain off. Like, are you going to hear? I was with a group of Black comedians watching this the first time. And when Tony went up, I promise you, at least 4 of us was like, well, we about to hear the most racist shit you've ever heard. We knew what was coming. And again, people are like, well, does they give it a pass? In comparison to what was written and all these things, when you talk about writers, somebody said, oh man, I thought comics were supposed to write their own shit. Roast please go look at the credits for all of the Comedy Central roasts. They have always had writers. They've always had writers. Okay. For those who are upset about the George Floyd joke, or just as much as those who are upset about the Charlie Kirk joke, regardless how you personally feel about either one, notice people are both upset about one particular thing. Look, the rampant misogyny against Chelsea Handler was
that's the other part that drives me crazy, bro. Again, you kept making fun of Cheryl's dead wife. The amount of misogyny of constantly talking about how many different Black men that Chelsea Handler is fucked.
So Chelsea Handler got a BET award for fucking 50 Cent. Oh, I'm sorry. This is fucking 50 niggas. Fucking 50 niggas. But, and Chelsea owns up to, Chelsea's always been like, yeah, I fucked 50. I fucked this dude. Chelsea been like, I say what I'm telling you who I fucked. It is what it is. And I've always had power to Chelsea. I wish I had a chance to work with her when she had both Chelsea Lately and when she got a chance to try to revamp her show on Netflix. I'm just going to be honest. I want people to bringing up that joke. And I'm like, yo, what people have been saying, please go back and watch these other roasts. There are 2 more. This is one, and I'll say one more thing, and I'll give it back to you. There's an old roast where Greg Giraldo is up. Greg Giraldo is a legendary comedian, passed way too soon. And Ice-T is on the dais. He said Ice-T is so old that when he got his first record, the first money from his record deal, he brought his freedom papers.
I forgot about that joke, bro. I forgot about it because I know what you're talking about.
Now, I know people are like, yes, it's got to be funny. I 1,000% agree. I'm not saying Tony's joke was funny. I'm not saying that. Because there are going to be a lot of jokes that go to the moon on outrageous and will miss the mark. Absolutely. But these jokes have been consistently said throughout all of them. Also, this is my last point. I need people to stop being on social media going, well, I never thought Kevin Hart was funny. He ain't never been funny to me. He was never funny. So he was never funny. I ain't never found him funny.
Okay, so here's my thing. If that's the case, why'd you watch?
Why'd you watch a 3-hour roast
about Kevin Hart? If he's not that funny Hart. And you don't care, why did you watch? I don't. But that's part of what I was also saying about this entire thing. That's so interesting to me, man. Is like, I blame social media. I blame the political climate. But we have just gotten to a place where everything is a fucking fight, and everything is
rights are under attack. I understand the difference. Again, as a black man, we are watching what's happening in the South, which we will talk about soon. We are watching what is happening in the South, active Jim Crow 2.0. We are watching black voting rights being taken away in the South. And again, this wouldn't happen if, hey, you could have voted for a woman back in 2016. Let me just say that. But this will happen. That's happening. So, and I'm not diminishing the moments in which we're living in.
Absolutely not.
Lived through many different moments when these roasts happen. People have been posting the clip from Cat Williams, who was at the roast, which, by the way, that's the next point to bring up. Cat Williams showed up. You can put him up. I bet you Matt ain't even looking at the screen. Cat Williams surprised everyone, Kevin Hart included, by performing at the roast. And people were like, why is it a surprise? Because legitimately, these niggas do not like each other.
They have had a very long, very documented beef, and how much they cannot stand each other. If you're curious, you can go and both rewatch the Shannon Sharp interview with Cat Williams that happened a couple of years ago. You can watch multiple Breakfast Club interviews that Kevin Hart had on, like he had Tiffany up there with him at one point. They do not like each other at all.
Cat has said for years that Kevin is an industry plant, and that Kevin, just came out of nowhere and stole all his roles. And then Kevin is just like, this nigga's jealous. And, the term industry plant, for those who are unfamiliar with it, you hear it in a variety of fields. It is someone who says the industry has not been behind. They don't believe in the industry. They don't believe in all this shit. They self-made, it's grassroots, et cetera, et cetera. But the whole time, the industry is the one propping them up and moving them, excelling them from, and putting them in front of you to make you like them. For wrestling fans who watch us, for an example of an industry plant, but he is not that, this is Edge's original career in the WWE. They forced Edge down everybody's fucking throat until you loved him.
I didn't realize that because when I came along with Edge, it was when it was Edge and Christian, and so
people cared about Edge and Christian. Solo Radar Superstar Edge, you didn't really give a shit about, but they kept making you see him, and they made you. That would be that's the equivalent of an industry plan. Kevin Hart has been in this game for over 20 years. Kevin's path has not been like Cat's path. Kevin is a global star. He's a global brand. Kevin didn't start on the primarily black circuit. He did some black shows. His biggest black break came when he did the Shaq Comedy All-Stars. But Kevin had been doing a bunch of other shit. Cat had been grinding in the underground, in the shadows for years.
Right.
Cat had been doing that. So there is... this I've been grinding and look where I'm trying to get, but nobody heard of him. Look where he went. You're always going to have people like that. So that ties to this whole thing of, I saw a lot of people going, see, this was his humiliation ritual. And this was him just being embarrassed. It's a fucking
wait. They tried to say that this was an embarrassment ritual. That's where they're going to now.
Oh, it's been going to it since day one.
Again, I'm getting real fucking tired of shit just from the standpoint of, like, again, take a quick step back and look at the people who have been roasted in the past. Do you understand that these are like the upper echelon, like A-list people, or people that have had that kind of domination of Hollywood? Or they did, like, there was a point at which Comedy Central started roasting people that had done something cancelable or questionable, and they did that as a means to, like, we're taking you down a peg to give you whatever. So literally look at it. The last person to be roasted was Tom Brady, arguably the greatest football player of all time. Mm-hmm. So this idea that it's an embarrassment ritual, can you explain that to me? Because we did it to Tom Brady. So why is there a difference? I don't. That's such a weird.
Here's my only guess to that. Black people, we got to stop this whole shit. When we start elevating and hit a level of success, that the only way niggas can really hit success is if they're selling their soul, getting fucked, or going through some Illuminati shit. It never fails, and it's got to stop. We consistently want to diminish Black excellence, but want to say we want to uplift it at the same time. Am I saying that there is not shady shit that happens in different areas and different places? Not at all. We know that does, right. Those things do occur.
Right.
But to always say it never fails. Well, you know, the only reason she at this point she had to let these execs fuck her, or he had to let some dude fuck him in the ass. It's like, why is that the thing we have to go to? Why is it we as Black, and I'm gonna just say it as a Black dude, why can we not accept that we have somebody in our community as a Black person, a Black man, Black woman, who just busted their ass and did the work? I know it's one of them things like, well, what about what such and such said and all this? I'm like, yeah, it just goes into what I was just saying. Why can we not accept people have just put work in? All the work that people put in all the time is not visible in front of everyone. Go ahead.
I think that specifically comes from the idea of, like, I noticed that you're right. It happens a lot in the Black community, but it happens across the board where people get weirded out by that they instantly want to jump to that phrase, oh, this overnight success. The truth of the matter is 90% of the time, none of the people that you quote unquote want to call an overnight success are overnight successes. They have been grinding or doing whatever the fuck has been going on. And this just happens to be the moment where all of a sudden you now notice them, because now they are getting the full blown, like, national, international treatment where now people start to know who they are. Because like, I think about, for example, say however you feel about Tiffany Haddish one way or the other, another person that was on the grind, she finally hit that stride, and then she appeared everywhere. Same thing was,
y'all know Tiffany Haddish. Do you know why Tiffany finally popped? Tiffany was on a TV show called Rail, and as well as the Gerard Carmichael show, and nobody really paid attention. Tiffany didn't pop until one particular movie, but she is currently Girls Trip. But she had been out here. Also, another thing, Tiffany was sitting up there. Everybody's like, why Tiffany not roasting? Tiffany is working on a bunch of other shit, and the last thing she needs to be a victim of is a roast in that moment, because your business get aired out.
Yeah.
Not only just that, Tiffany was like, people got to stop being like, again, I to my people. I thought he was going to have only Black comics up here. I thought he was only going to have all these. Where's Dave Chappelle? Where's Eddie Murphy? Where's all these Black comics at? Where's all these legends at? That does not, just because a person is being roasted does not mean that's who they want. And also, some comics just don't want to do roast.
If I'm not, I mean, in the same way that Kevin was not the initial person that was supposed to be roasted. They initially tried to actually get Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney said, "Kiss my fucking ass, I'm not doing it." So that's the other thing.
I did not know that.
Yes, they originally were going for Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney said, absolutely not. He decided not to. And to be honest with you, I would rather him say that than you end up with Tom Brady, who he ended up kind of being a little bitch about it after the fact, when it was like, we're kind of going in on stuff, and then all of a sudden he's like, don't you fucking talk about the rapper craft.
That was at the very beginning. It was the moment when Jeff Ross started. He was in his. Now, there are people who said, I've seen this one thing. People like, they felt a certain way about Kevin having a microphone, being able to interject during people, and he wasn't supposed to really talk. Let's just keep it a buck. This is Kevin Hart we're talking about. You think this nigga just gonna be quiet?
That's never been him.
He's gonna be quiet?
He's never
all in all,
been him.
I also said this online, and I will say this here, and I wanted to make sure I got all of my thoughts out. The response from this roast, albeit negative, positive, whatever, have shown that a lot of people did not start watching roast until they hit Netflix.
Yeah, because I would make the argument that a lot of the stuff that was said in the Comedy Central ones were infinitely worse.
And like I said, the shit that was worse on top of the shit that hit the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
So, again, I think people got to remember, there's a lot going on, and I get it. We're inundated by everything, especially if you live in the United States where you have a rapist pedophile as a fucking president. You have an alcoholic moron running the FBI. You have an alcoholic white supremacist frat boy being the Secretary of Defense. All of these stupid motherfuckers out here that are running the country, and in every single goddamn day, it is something else. You have voting rights consistently, like I said, being gerrymandered in southern states. Because why? These southern bitches knew they could finally do it. Because there's a Captain Coon on the Supreme Court that was right along with them. And this shoe shuffling ass monkey needs to be thrown in a vat of hot oil. I hate Clarence Thomas every fucking thing.
Yes, sir. This nigga spitting. Damn, nigga.
It's not just that, bro. I'm trying to remember who said it, but someone had a hilarious fucking joke about it, being like, man, I hope when this nigga dies that fucking Thurgood Marshall gets multiple day passes to go down to hell and whoop that nigga's ass.
I hope he does. I hope Satan and God be like, hey, listen, we gonna make amends on this one thing. Let him whoop this nigga. Because it needs to happen. All of these shoe shuffling, I know people like, oh, you mad black people don't all vote Democrat, blah, blah, blah. I say, no, I don't give a fuck about that. It's just you fucking ass coons. Those are real coons. These sorry ass Negroes out here who are out here actively working on the side of people who are literally taking us backwards. This isn't a figurative statement. This is a literal statement. It started off with the combination of women's rights and the attack on immigrants. It started off.
It's just been progressing.
And
the other thing that's so interesting, did you see, God, I can never remember her name, but she does Parking Lot Pimpin'. I'm talking black girl. I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. You know what I'm talking about?
I might vaguely, but not really.
If you saw her, you would recognize her, but she brought up a good point, and I can't remember who is attributed to the initial quote of it, but the idea of when a lot of black folk are being like, well, my vote doesn't matter. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to X, Y, and Z. It's like, if it really was that weak and it really didn't matter, why are they breaking their fucking necks to take it away from them? They are
actively working their hardest to take them away. If you didn't believe it didn't fucking matter,
then they wouldn't give a shit. But they are actively working to take away ours and take away from women as a whole because they feel ultimately threatened.
Hey, white women, by the way. Hey, white women who this applies to you, to the ones it applies to. You are not safe. I know my sister struggle. I know. I'm always gonna fight for black women to the motherfucking death of me. But to white women, I need you all to understand, the ones that cape up for these bitch ass boys, you are not safe, ma'am.
What's so interesting though, Jay, and it's funny, I'm not saying that we don't need to say it, we do. A vast majority of the women that they are actively trying to take that away from, they know, and they're not playing like that. The issue is the ones that aren't listening. They're like, well, my husband makes all the decisions in the house anyway, so whatever he says, maybe I don't need a vote. He can just have my vote. Like that's literally the problem. If you go and look,
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not saying that we shouldn't still say that and that they shouldn't hear it, but I think it also should just be noted that you're talking about the ones that went to go get the MRS degree and literally have just listened to everything their husband have said and have not had an original thought, or they're like, well, God says that I'm just supposed to serve my husband, so I don't need to think. It's just whatever he said.
Hey, y'all, just for the record, he's practicing for this role. That's why he got that voice like that. We all know.
No. But
which that was another thing. People were mad. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That motherfucker said Cheryl Underwood. Tony Hinchcliffe said Cheryl Underwood was on the talk for 13 years. And if you missed it, here's what you missed. No, y'all. No.
No. Wait a minute. No. And then he
but
said,
if you watch the talk sometimes,
that's exactly what the talk
exactly
was.
what
There's
she
a reason
did.
why all of those shows kind of have that thing, but there's a reason why The View was still kind of going and the talk just kind of eventually was like, I think we're done.
And I'm not giving. I want to make sure people know. For me personally, as a stand-up comedian who is active in the comedy scenes, who travels around the country, who's blessed to do these things, that I'm not condoning that. I know the person who that is. I know Tony Hinchcliffe.
Right.
Tony. That's his life. That's what you do. Also, he has found that fan base. He has garnered that fan base that rocks with it. That's why Kill Tony makes these stars now, because there are people who want to laugh at the most fucked up shit in the world. Go ahead. So we can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I mean, I think at this point, like, if I don't know, because we're kind of starting to fully transition to the voting rights stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you kind of wanted to say about the roast before we do that? Because I am curious about you, because I have my thoughts. Who would you say was your MVP of the roast? Who do you think was the best one out of everybody?
It's a tie.
Okay.
It's between Naeem and Cheryl.
Okay. That's fair.
Cheryl went in, and Cheryl was the equivalent to me of Patrice O'Neal during the Charlie Sheen roast when he went in on Amy Schumer and all them, and to get a standing O, like she stood that bitch up.
For me, it's not even remotely like Naeem was fantastic, and I actually got to see his set before because I went to Dion Cole did a.
We also got to talk about Cat before we end it because we didn't talk about Cat.
For sure, we'll talk about it too, and then we'll get to the voting rights stuff.
Yeah.
I went on Thursday during the Netflix as a Joke Fest. Dion was doing multiple shows for free, where the proceeds from any of the drinks and stuff like that were there went to the victims of the Altadena fires.
Right.
So like, shouts out to him. And so Naeem was there, and they took our phones because he was running his set for the roast there. He didn't do 100% of it, but he did a majority of it. So like, having already heard it, it was still hilarious. But as most people know, if you've already heard jokes, the punchline is kind of the thing that kind of makes it go. So it's like, it didn't hit me quite as hard. For me, Cheryl blew it out of the fucking water. Like there's always one that you go, damn, they fucking ate the roast. That's it. For me, it was Cheryl, and she just absolutely destroyed, man. She had it for everybody, and I was so impressed by that shit.
Cat Williams, like I brought up, Cat was a surprise. So this is how you know. Some people keep being like, "Oh man, you can tell Cat was scripted and blah blah blah." I'm like, no, because if Cat was scripted, he would have had jokes for everybody else. That nigga had straight. This nigga said Kevin isn't. He said Kevin had a bunch of homophobic tweets.
Dude, that joke fucking killed me. Go ahead, say it. That joke.
You mean the man that wears Fabletics oiled up?
Well, no, you got to do the whole thing. Kevin
got his head about the homophobic tweets. Said he would hit his son over the head with a dollhouse. He was gay. That's the gayest way to take your son.
That's the child. It's like, how could he be homophobic? He wears Fabletics, hangs out with nothing but men and Chelsea Handler. Then on top of that, he opened a vegan fast food restaurant. That is a fairy. That is a fairy.
That man's a fairy. I said, that is great. But you know what? So that's another thing real quick. People tried to say, so afterwards, and I have a picture of it. Kevin Hart grabbed his microphone, said, hey, he showed love to Cat because he was legitimately shocked. He said, hey, Cat, you know what I'm saying? I want to say how much I appreciate you as a fan. I'm a fan, blah, blah, blah. But in front of everybody, I want to squash the beef. I want us to be good. I'm extending the olive branch out, which, by the way, Cat is so lucky this nigga has baby feet because them Jordans are amazing. Them 4s are phenomenal.
Are you saying you would have tried to jack him for his 4s? No, I see him.
Cat got baby feet, nigga. Anyway.
But why are you saying it's a good thing he has baby feet?
Because I know you can't find him in grown man size.
Oh, okay. That's actually hilarious. I was like, you trying to jack Cat Williams? I don't understand what the fuck's going on, but now I get it. He was able to find them because nobody else.
Yeah, nobody else but 8-year-olds. So Kevin extended the olive branch. He was like, yo, we friend. So Cat shakes his hand, leans in for the hug, and then leaves. Now, everyone wants to assume that they squashed the beef because then Kevin got toward the end and did his roast show, everybody. said how he felt about Cat and all this, and it was like, you know what, me and Cat are friends from here on out. Let me say something to y'all real quick. If you think that Cat Williams and Kevin Hart squashed that beef because of what you just saw on that stage, you are a fucking fool. Here's why I say this. Kevin Hart, not only is he a comedian, that man is a businessman and a brand.
And
Kevin
an actor.
Hart,
You got to give him credit. Everybody wants to talk about Kevin's acting. I think you could, if you watch after Jay and I talked and he was like, I need you to take a second and think about this. Go rewatch Kevin during that set and watch how he is clearly pushing down emotions and forcing smiles and laughs. It doesn't seem like it at first. He is just.
They kept saying he was holding. I kept seeing posts going, oh, Kevin fake laughing at all this other shit. No, he was pushing it down with Cat. Here's why I say that. When you are being roasted, the number one thing you are not allowed to do for the most part is to be offended by anything that is said. Kevin Hart is a brand, not just a comedian, a brand. And to have his arguably biggest enemy on stage, he cannot come off as angry, antagonistic, hateful, or anything negative in that moment.
Because again, you want to talk about what was genuinely just a weird fucking moment in the last roast that we had in Tom Brady. Tom Brady legitimately had a fucking freak out over Robert Kraft.
Yes, he
said,
did.
You're not going to talk about him like that anymore. And the whole air got sucked out of the room. You have to be a good sport when that shit is happening. And so that's the thing. He knows that he cannot have an open freak out.
So he has to do that. So he has to make sure he says, yo, we good. Cat never said a motherfucking word. Cat even told you why I'm there. They paid me a lot of money.
The money. I'm here for the money.
The nigga said, Kevin says he went to Diddy parties. He said it was a record. It was record releases in the bedroom.
In the bedroom, on the floor, in the pool, anywhere but inside.
Kevin got it back. Kevin said, man, I ain't went to no goddamn Diddy parties. I went to one. And how you know? Because Cat was there. He was there. Yo, X the Great says this real quick. Tiffany was looking worried when Cat started talking because she didn't know what he was gonna say. Again, Cat went up there. The only person who knew beside the Netflix production team was Regina Hall. The only other person they had to
because
tell
she had
her,
to introduce him.
She had to introduce him. That was the only other person that knew. So you have all that, and so overall, I think the next roast, because they're going to do another one for sure. The numbers are going to say do another one. If you are worried about hearing something that may make you feel a certain way, and I know people are like, oh, black comics are just allowing racism, this, that, and the third. And I've said it before. And again, come at me if you want to. I don't care. In that theater, in that medium, in that moment, I'm expecting to hear some of the worst shit I've ever heard. But if you told me any of those comics said any of that shit on a regular stand-up stage during a regular show, that's when I have an issue.
I agree with you on that. I think that ultimately is the big difference. Is this is meant to poke and prod and piss off, but piss off in a way of gotcha, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you're exactly right. If that had just been said on a regular ass stand-up stage, you can get fucking bent. That's bullshit.
I will get you say it on a regular stage, then I'm like, okay, I can automatically think you're racist regardless. But you say it during a regular show, now you on more bullshit. During a roast, like I say, I'm going in with the mindset, I'm gonna hear some of the most fucked up shit I've ever heard. People kept talking about somebody was talking about Cheryl's dead husband. Cheryl Underwood okayed it.
And that's the thing. Multiple people can be like, I swear to God, I asked Cheryl before. I asked her before. I asked to make sure this wasn't too much, etc., etc. And I believe that. Did you see Pete? One of Pete Davidson's writing partners put out some jokes that
you talking about Madison?
I believe so.
Madison said, "Where my homegirl Madison?" She put out the jokes that
maybe.
didn't make
Hold
it.
on.
She put it in Variety. The jokes that didn't make.
I think. Well, somebody tweeted it. I don't. It is Dave Cyrus.
Oh yeah, Dave posted some shit too. Yeah.
Oh, is the thread? Oh, the thread is gone. It was up there. They must have pulled it. But like one of them was, yes, Chelsea aborted a fetus, and he's here tonight. Jeff, take a bow. Talking about Jeff Ross.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I'm going to hell for that one. Chelsea, anything you want me to say to the rest of your kids while I'm there? And I was like, yo, so that one got cut. I first met Big Jay when I was 16 years old. Jay, it must be nice to finally hear those words outside of a courtroom, huh? Whew, shit. There was another one that said, you may know Tony Hinchcliffe from walking through his mouth to enter amusement parks. And then all jokes aside, Chelsea Handler is a killer, specifically if you believe life starts at conception. Chelsea fucked 50 Cent so long ago, the magic stick was then called a musket. That one was good. Draymond is probably 4 to 5 years from being in the Hall of Fame and 45 minutes from being inside Chelsea Handler.
That nigga said, oh my God, when that nigga Draymond Green said, Chelsea, you don't have to worry about me fucking you. I'm Draymond Green. I don't hit threes.
I fucking died. All the jokes about Draymond's name. There was another one that they said got cut. Draymond Green
Rock was there. Sorry, I forgot about that nigga too. The drunk ass Rock was there. There's a picture of it for Matt who could be looking. That motherfucker was. That was. Let me tell you something. That wasn't Rock. I'm sorry. That was DJ. That was Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
That nigga was drunk for 20-something minutes, baby. That was it.
But the last two jokes that they brought up didn't go up. Was Kevin's in superhero shape. He could star in Wakanda 411, which was pretty funny. And then the other one was Kevin got drunk and hit that tree so hard that he had to stop making cookies in it.
Yo, did you see how short Kevin was compared to the Williams sisters?
I didn't pay attention to that. I just paid attention where The Rock being like, I'm going to sit down. And then you notice that Rock sitting is the same height as Kevin standing.
Same height as this nigga standing. That nigga said, that's how you know you're drunk. Sit on my lap.
Come on, sit on my knee. Come sit on my knee. They want to see you sit on my knee. What the fuck? And then he went on for what 5 minutes talking about, yo, I'm gonna fuck your wife though. Like, bro.
I mean, I'm gonna fuck your wife. He's like, hey, DJ, goddamn. I also saw somebody bring up, and I know we got to move on because there's so much stuff. Somebody brought up, why wasn't his ex-wife there? Let me tell you something. Tori is a friend of mine. Tori is living her own fucking life, and Tori was one of the the only two things that Kevin Hart said were off limits. His kids.
What was the second one? Is his kids. I appreciated the one kid joke that did get said.
The Regina Hall one?
I thought it was Tony, because Tony's joke about the kids, he goes, I know you said the kids are off limits. However, you did a good job with them. They're big enough now to buckle you into your car seat. That one I thought was pretty good.
Nigga, Regina
What did Regina
Hall
said? I forgot.
Your mom says they run trains in heaven. Oh,
I remember that.
Not that heaven. People didn't catch on. The only ones who catch on understand. Kevin's daughter is named Heaven.
Oh shit! I didn't.
That's why Kevin was like, "Don't you fucking do it." That's why Kevin said, "Don't you fucking do it."
I didn't know his daughter's name was Heaven, so I genuinely didn't. I didn't catch that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Is that the same one that he did the original Dimagad Juice?
Yes,
that's the same.
Okay. Yeah, that's Heaven. So it's Heaven and Hendrix, and like Hendrix is like running track and shit like that. Streamlabs.com/Blerds in the Hood /tip. Streamlabs.com/Blerds in the Hood /tip. Thank you to Fred Tax 314 for dropping in. Another Streamlabs says there have always been people who are looking for a reason to fight. There are now people who look for any excuse to pretend to be offended to excuse their poor comments and behavior. Zeno Albert 5364 says, pitch, Blerds in the Hood present the roast of Matt. Oh, that's easy. Nigga, I'll do it right now. You give
Don't.
If we get listen, I'm broke. If y'all donate $300 right now, I'll do the roast of this nigga right now.
Okay, if we get to 300 before the show is over, we'll give you 30 seconds because
if they get to 500 by the time the show's over,
you don't get to dictate shit, bitch. This is our show. Listen, I just muted.
This is my life, you bitch. Hell no.
This is because then we got to get, at least from him, he's right. As far as these roasts go, we got to get the what's off limit shit. What we'll do is this. If we get it before the show is out, 300 is fine. We will talk to Matt. We'll get the off limit shit and we'll do it for the next show. How about that? But also,
this is
Jay, someone wanted to ask this real quick.
This is where we started with Hey,
Jay,
man.
give us the tea. Tony is gay, right?
So I would have said that, but so hey man, everybody.
Anonymous.
We just got an anonymous donation, $400.
Now I'm wondering if that was Matt's daddy. If George was like, I'll see the roast of this nigga.
Ain't no way that's him. Ain't no way.
Hey, look like it just came in. I'm like, yo.
I was like, why are you not responding to the question? I was like, you really don't want to say? No, so an anonymous person just tipped $100. So we are now $165 away from the roast of Matt. So
You're gonna get lit up, nigga.
they got 50 minutes. They got 50 minutes to figure it out, bro. But also, Chris Lee, just talk about Matt's sex playlist. God damn.
Right.
God damn.
Here we go.
Oh, right. We have to take a shot. I forgot. Oh my God.
Goodness.
Oh my God. Hold on.
All the reason I'm laughing so hard because I didn't expect to look over me like, oh shit.
Cheers. Hey. Oh my Lord. That is.
Well,
I really want to know who Anonymous is. I'm gonna laugh if we find out, if there's a way to trace it back and we find out it was fucking Matt himself. And he was just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Do it, God damn it.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
That's amazing. That's hilarious. All right, when we go, while we wait on that to happen, let's move on to our next story. We've been going in and out about it all of today. Voting rights are currently donations.
Oh shit! Casser just tipped $25. Roast him. Get his ass.
Nope, Casser tipped $35.
What did I say?
25.
I meant to say 35. My bad. Yes, I see that. So that puts us a lot closer, man. Shit. $130 away, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey man, I'm yeah. So go ahead and do the next story. I'm writing my jokes real quick.
We're not doing it today.
Oh, we not? Because I was gonna give you before the show.
No. What it is that will be the topic of the next episode if we hit it before the show is over. Because I agree with that. We should at least get the bare minimum of what is off limits. Again, we just talked about that with roasting in the first place, but it will happen if by the end of the show we hit another, what did I say, $130. That's it, and we are roasting the fuck out this nigga next episode. So the other story that we were jumping into, the voting rights, man.
Yes.
As you know, the Supreme Court overturned a major element of the voting rights bill that passed back during the Civil Rights Movement. Essentially, what that did is completely fuck up all of the redistricting that has been happening. They ended up throwing out what went on in Virginia, even though that was voted on by the people in that state. And then you also ended up in oh my God. Everybody! Okay, so we are 30, we're $30 away. We're $30 away. Villa Wolf says, vote yeah. So yeah, we are $30 away, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God.
Stop it. Get some help.
Matt, you can't escape this. Don't run. Don't run. Please don't go. That's just a great set of New York boobs.
Oh man.
Shit. Hold on, I'm pouring. Oh shit. All right, here. Cheers. Oh my God.
Okay, so go ahead. You were saying about gutting of the Voting Rights Act.
So the gutting of the Voting Rights Act that overturned what was just voted on in Virginia has immediately then allowed a bunch of very racist, because a number of states And there it is. Shots. Everybody! Caster says, I said.
You need to leave.
Casper said, I said, get his ass. Bro, you know what that reminds me of? Is damn how high? Get him. Get him.
Well, Matt. All right. Oh boy.
Oh, God damn it. All right, hold on.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Fuck this bullshit.
Cheers. Cheers. So here's the fun part about this, y'all. If this will make Matt feel any better, as roasts go, that means that we're roasting him as the guest of honor, but that means we can take side shots at each other and at Dwayne, and we'll even maybe take some shots at some of the people in the neighborhood we know ain't gonna get bent out of shape about that shit. Because there wouldn't be a roast if we didn't get everybody that was there on the day. So, yo, we should ask George if he wants to roast this nigga.
Yes, we will. We will also ask his father. Yes, we will. We will also ask his daddy. Oh, I love it. Oh my God. Oh shit.
Well, be very excited about the next live episode of Blerds in the Hood, folks.
Hey, hold on. Hey, I'm gonna private chat you something.
Oh no. Ew. Why would you say that word? Fuck you, Greg. Did that shit on purpose, Matt. Put that shit on the goddamn screen. I don't appreciate that shit. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I agree with Blue Girl. The neighborhood is indeed ruthless.
Oh my God.
Oh no. Let me check. Oh, yep. Oh, okay. Well. Shout out to Moses Akempta, who sent in a cash app over my way and says, roast him.
And send it my way too. Huh? Niggas want to make sure. Hey, I love it. Everybody like,
fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was also for Moses on your end?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did he say anything in particular or he said the same thing?
Same thing.
Okay.
Oh.
Great.
I can't stop laughing because this nigga is sitting there just terrified now. If y'all can see this nigga back.
Matt, we told you we will clarify what is off limits, and then these jokes coming, bro. I'm so excited.
That nigga back. Y'all can't see that nigga.
You know, he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line stepper.
Y'all to see for a second. Look at his face. Look at his face. He is so upset. he is so upset.
Oh my God.
Jay,
God.
Nah, Matt, keep your butt in the seat. Jay, did you get mine?
Yeah.
Jay.
Oh, I got yours too. Okay, let me read it again. Okay, let me read toys. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Oh my God, where'd it go? Oh, Father God, that was funny.
Oh my God.
Let me pull back up. Okay. Oh, Jesus, this is hilarious. Yeah, make sure to talk about how he dislikes us.
Oh.
And she talking about black women.
Ooh. So I forgot Toya a motherfucking savage, bro. Oh my God. Okay, let's try and be serious for a minute because we will do this again. This will happen next episode. So super chat roast, or I mean, look, if y'all want, but I'll tell you this: if you put anything in, that will be saved for the actual roast episode. We're not going to put them now. So if you just want to donate because this is happening, great. Anything that's sent in today that's a roast of this individual, we will not read. We'll acknowledge that you sent it in, but we'll read it on the actual roast day because for the same vein, got to talk to them, make sure what's off limits and all that shit, and then we'll deal with it. But But hey, man, this is a good thing, baby. That means they love you. A roast just means they love your ass.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, fuck you.
Oh my God.
I've been trying to be serious for the past 15, 20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, especially because we got to talk about the voting rights. So okay, again, as far as that goes.
So it started it started in Louisiana first, right?
I believe so.
Tennessee just had it happen, and they were blocking Brother Jones, who is one of the most prominent Tennessee representatives. They blocked him from even going into the chambers to even just speak upon the vote. So they've been blocking duly elected members.
So I got you. So here it is specifically. The Supreme Court severely limited Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 in Louisiana versus Calais, marking a major shift in the law. It was a 6-3 conservative majority ruled that the court ordered maps creating new majority black districts in Louisiana were unconstitutional racial gerrymanders, effectively weakening the law's protections against minority vote delusion. So for those that don't understand specifically what's going on, we'll just give you a very brief kind of idea. I'm sure you're aware of the fact that states are broken up into districts. That's where you end up determining where people end up with seats in Congress. You're assigned how much is going on from that specifically based upon the census, how many people you have in your state, et cetera, et cetera. That's also where you have your electoral votes that will match up to the amount of people that your state would have as far as Congress men and women. So that being said, by gutting this, essentially what they will then end up doing with gerrymandering is the idea of you would have scenarios where you would put districts together. Hey, this state has like 30% black people in this motherfucker. So you would kind of be able to concentrate it so that proper representation could happen for people that look that essentially the makeup of people in the state. But what Republicans are now already doing, so Alabama, for example, already had a law on the books that would activate the same way that when they overturned Roe v. Wade, that would activate if this ever got overturned, which was obviously was being pushed. It immediately redrew the maps and put in emergency primary re-elections essentially to have that go. And now instead of being like, hey, Alabama's got 3 Democratic districts and then like 12 Republicans, where you essentially turned the whole thing fucking red because you've now placed black people in random little pockets and they don't have any collective voting power to do anything outside of their district. That's where that becomes a fucking problem.
But this also can, now here's the thing, even though that is extremely fucked up and what is happening and these are the plans, it also can potentially backfire.
It can.
The goal is to get them more Republican districts.
Right.
The voters, again, the voters have to be willing to vote the other way. That's all. Because you know, it's like, well, what can we do? What can we do? This is when it goes, because I believe it is one of the states, I think is it Alabama?
Which one?
Or Virginia, one of the ones where the primaries already happened, and the governor was like, "Nope, we're going to discard all those." And we're going
to do with Virginia because that was the overturning. Did that, but it was also Alabama. So Alabama, because they were waiting, they had a law on the books that as soon as that overturned, said, "Oh, emergency provision." It was actually a law that we put into place if something like this happens. So now we have to do a revote on the primaries with the new district map that they had already had ready, that was drawn up and would instantly go into effect if this went down. So
again, you need to have you're going to have those people that are put in elected officials. Those two words are the primary thing you need to focus on throughout all of this. Elected officials.
And this is a big thing to keep in mind. The CBC or the Congressional Black Caucus could potentially lose 18 to 19 members. This is a massive
thing. What you have to have is the voters in these states now, because it's only going to be the South. People think it's going to be across the board primarily, but the Southern Confederate states, those are the main ones doing this, right? The voters in those states have to be the ones to initiate the change because just like they could not change California's map, because remember, Texas did it on its own. And then California responded in jest. But California did it the legal way, huh? California.
You were clearly talking a lot of Southern shit because all of a sudden you went Medea said, and then California.
California. I was trying to get past it. I was hoping we didn't catch it. California did it in jest, but California did it the correct way by bringing it to the voters. Okay.
Right. So did Virginia, which is why this was so fucking infuriating.
It was, yes. Virginia brought it to the voters, but then because of the Supreme Court thing, that is what allowed them to be able to do it. So, once again, the voters of Virginia, just like the voters of California and all these other states, there are some people who are, no matter what, let's just be real. This we talk all the time on this show, and we've had personal conversation about the two-party system, right?
Yep.
The Democrat-Republican two-party system in which this country runs on.
Yep.
Every year we always hear, well, there needs to be a third option. And I've constantly stated this, and I think my co-host, my brother, said it as well. If you want a viable third option, your third option needs to come up more than just when it's time for the elections.
For the presidential election.
For the presidential elections.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You need to have that happen. But until then, this is what we have. Right? So there are some people that no matter what, no matter how bad or how fucked up life gets, they will never not vote Republican. Look at Kentucky and many of those other states, Tennessee, their residents in Tennessee, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, there are pockets, of course. There are cities and pockets where those places go blue, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you need to have these voters come out more in force for, like he stated earlier, when people sit there and say, my vote doesn't matter, my vote doesn't count, if it did not matter and if it did not count, they would not be working so diligently.
They wouldn't be working so hard. What was that joke during the reparation sketch of Chappelle? They are literally breaking their necks to get this money back, give this money back to us. They're literally breaking their necks to take that vote away from you.
They're breaking their necks.
Full blown, doing everything they can to take their vote away from you. And again, the other part that we're talking about, where they're doing it to black folk and minorities, but they're also doing it to women. There's a reason why the provisions that were going on in some of these laws they were talking about, I believe it was the big beautiful bill, but it's hard to keep up at this point, where essentially, it was the SAVE Act that they were trying to put in. It was specifically like if your name doesn't match what's on your birth certificate and everything else, then you will not be able to vote. And that was specifically to then attack women who then, if they got married and changed their fucking name, would be fucked and have to go to extra steps in order to do shit.
But also another part of the reason why it did not pass through the Senate, of course, it was never going to pass fully, is because a lot of senators actually had, you have the House of Representatives. Those people like, yeah, fuck them, we're doing it. But a lot of senators like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but we will lose a lot of votes doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of all of this is he could not do martial law. He could not suspend the midterm elections. He is doing everything he can to keep his power. He is literally doing everything.
Well, but this is what actually scares me. And this is why I need people to legitimately be concerned. And you need to tell your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, whoever the fuck that might be voting in any of these states to make sure they get out and do something about it, because we have to. So the thing that people are not keeping into consideration here, you remember the whole idea of like Trump can't run for a third term. He can't do it because of the Constitution. Well, that the whole idea of 2 terms, for people that don't know, came in recently back in like the 50s or 60s. I can't remember which president it was specifically. It was the 40s. It was the 40s. So the idea of that was put in as a constitutional amendment. In order to pass a constitutional amendment, you were looking at a supermajority. So you're talking about this, what I believe it's 2/3, so 66%. So to that point, based off of what they are now doing, you are actually running into a very terrifying situation where they would be able to put in a constitutional amendment. And you know what they could do if that was the case? If they wanted to get rid of the term limit thing or make it that it could be 3 or whatever the fuck it is, they technically could put in a constitutional amendment to ratify it. That is the actual terrifying thing about what's going on here, is it's not just the idea that then whatever laws they really want to push, it's specifically that. You were wondering what the fat fuck that used to work with him, I cannot remember his name all of a sudden.
Chris Christie or Steve Bannon?
Bannon. When Bannon was asked in multiple interviews, do you really think that Trump legally can do it? He's like, there are ways. We have ways to make that happen. They're working on it. Don't worry. My niggas, this is one of those game plans that they put into place. If they get this supermajority, that is something that could feasibly happen. It's constitutional amendments.
You do know why there, again, for those who are unfamiliar, the main reason.
And it was FDR. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
FDR had 4 terms.
Yeah.
3-4 terms. So here's one of the biggest things I need people to understand also. Donald Trump knows he'll go to jail. He knows it for a fact. All of them who are involved in this has been arguably the most corrupt administration in American history. He is only, and just like now, he is only in office to keep from going to jail. The UN will issue a warrant on criminal crimes. I know people like there are certain other people that are supposed to have warrants, et cetera, et cetera. This shit is going to, we're looking at Gilead here, y'all. That's the best way I can describe it. You're looking at Gilead here. I go back to the initial thing I said earlier. This would not have been a thing at all if you could have voted for a woman in 2016
or 2024.
No. If he loses in 2016, this doesn't.
This is all done.
This is all dead. This is all dead. If he does not, and again, people are like, "Well, I'm tired of this. Listen, I'm tired of this thing. Well, we'll put a better candidate in." I hear you, and I understand that anger, but I think people need to look at what's in front of them and that is the problem. That is why I've watched a bunch of people who were like, well, I'm not going to vote for her. I'm just not voting for her. I'm just not voting for Kamala, and are now crying and complaining about everything that's happening.
Yeah. I guess that's the thing that has always frustrated me, and I hear it, and I think there is a little bit of maybe wiggle room with 2016 for this reason and this reason alone. She ran, if we're being honest, she decided to run a victory lap instead of an election, like a campaign. If we're being 100% honest, because talking about Hillary, because once Trump was up there, the idea there
was no right. Do you blame her?
Do you remember? Huh? No, I get it. I get that. But there's a few things that I think were gross missteps. The first is, and I don't think any of us really thought that might happen. I think most of us did think it was somewhat of a joke, especially when you hear things like grab him by the pussy. He's making fun of disabled reporters. All Mexicans are raped. You would think that there was there's enough decorum here. People aren't that crazy. They're not going to actually do this, whatever. But if you look specifically at a lot of the other perfect storm things that happened as that went down, you had obviously, you had the white lash that was coined. I can't remember who coined it. Was it Don? Was it Don Lemon that did that?
Van Jones.
It was Van Jones. One of the few things that Van Jones has said that I was like, that's actually not a bad statement there. But you had the idea that the white lash coming off of Obama and the amount of racists that absolutely hated that a black man was president. You had the fact that how things went down with Bernie, where things are going one way and the DNC fucked that whole shit up. You had a bunch of Bernie bros and people that were upset about that shut the fuck down. You had the fact that she did not go to Michigan. She lost Michigan horribly to Bernie, and she refused to go the entirety of the remainder of that campaign, and he won fucking Michigan. There was a number of little things that happened, and the next thing you know, we were like, oh my God, this motherfucker actually got to be president. That's the thing. Now, everything that happened after that, so we got to see the administration, we got to see January 6th, we got to see him get convicted 34 times. At that point, I'm like, everybody can get fucked that did not say this is unacceptable. It should have been unacceptable beforehand, but at that point, that this is not a fucking joke. And the idea that we couldn't see that he is already a vengeful, angry motherfucker, that he was only going to be more vengeful and angry after we told him he could not be president a second fucking time, and then you decided to also run charges and find him guilty of that shit. Did we not think that he was going to be a vindictive fuck and do what's going on? Which, to that point, because I'm seeing that we're running low on time, I kind of want to say that because we'll unfortunately have to talk about this plenty more. I almost want to transition to The Boys because it ironically kind of ties very closely to what's going on.
I don't have fully everything about it. So here's the thing: spoiler alert for The Boys.
Yep, I can do that. Give me a second.
It's a day pass. I think it's what's today? Thursday.
Today is Thursday.
Yeah, it's a day over now. So listen. All right.
There it is. It's at the bottom. If you don't want to hear spoiler for The Boys, as long as that banner is up, we were talking about it. Now you know.
Okay. Number one, Eric Kripke said before the season came out, there are things that are happening that we never would have believed were going to be real when we created this, when we wrote this season. Donald Trump having a golden statue at Mar-a-Lago and people worshiping and praying to it, a la Homelanders. Homelander murdered the president of the United States.
Just said, Blop. just clapped his hands together, bro. Just fully clapped his hands together.
So I'm gonna say this: The Boys, like, Homelander is a complete psychopath at this point. Here was my favorite part. I didn't get a chance to put the clip in there, but this nigga here.
Oh, before we do that, just this is what we're talking about here. Whoops. Oh, take the thing that whoops, there it is.
I took it down.
There we go. This is it right here. This is
the
real Trump golden statue that is outside of
Mar-a-Lago.
It's outside Mar-a-Lago.
I think it's Mar-a-Lago.
So you have that, and then you also have Homelander also got a golden statue. And what's wild to me is the idea of without people this is outside the Trump National Doral Miami. So it is one of his golf clubs, but it's not Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
The idea that you are talking about, where are we? There we are. For all the Christians that are out there, and this is what they're actively talking about in The Boys with Homelander calling himself God, is this idea of literally, I believe it's the 10th, if not the 10th commandment, it's one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not worship false idols. You are literally worshiping a false idol. There's a whole story about the golden calf and all that shit and how fucking cities got destroyed. If you call yourself a Christian and you still support this motherfucker putting up golden statues of himself, what other sign of the fucking Antichrist do you need?
I couldn't have said that any better. I have nothing to say because nothing I'd say would top that because it's just like, this is surreal. But back to The Boys.
To the shark. Yeah.
The shark was voiced by the greatest cameo they could have got in this entire fucking season, Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my God.
It was so
I'm going to take a risk. I want y'all to see this.
If we got to pull it later, if the episode goes down, we will.
You gonna get that, bro?
Xander. Hey, what are you doing here? So good to see you, man.
We wouldn't want a little guppy to get caught in that can, my man.
Just jump forward. Just jump forward so we don't have to worry about it. Because you know it's near where he tells him, don't you bring your ass back in that water.
Remember March 15th, motherfucker.
Oh, wait, that wasn't me, man.
If you step one fucking stupid ass simian toe in the water, anywhere, an ocean, a stream, a fucking puddle, on God, son, you're dead. We're
on God, son, you dead.
On God, son, you're dead. You're dead.
On God, son, is what on God, son, like.
On God, son, you're dead.
To get Samuel L. Jackson to voice a shark, which for those that don't know the significance about it, was the movie Deep Blue Sea, where the shark ate him. Oh my God.
Shit. What? And that just goes to show that I done fucked up. It's the first commandment about specifically thou shalt not I am thy Lord God, thou shalt not have any other gods before me. I think what got me confused because the idol one is the second one, and so thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's where I was getting a little bit confused.
But dude, this is the penultimate episode. I've been going back and forth with a couple people like, oh man, they completely nerfed Sister Sage. And I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Sage
nerfed her how?
Talking about some, oh, she's this smart and she couldn't have predicted this, and now she all sad.
But that was actually a beautifully written character flaw that actually makes sense for most people that are way too logical, because essentially she's a super autistic. That is essentially her powers. I'm not even trying to sound like some sort of ass about that. I genuinely mean, you notice how she doesn't really do well with people. She knows how to kind of manipulate them, but she doesn't really know how to talk to them as far as
and
that
all
goes.
She wants is to be left alone.
She just wants to be left alone. And to that point, the one thing she couldn't figure out is love, which I thought was a very interesting thing to understand.
But you know why she couldn't? She said why she couldn't.
Because it's not logical. It's not logical.
But when she thought she understood it, the man she loved wanted to be a psychopath, Thomas Godolkin,
right?
Because he was a genius like her. And the only other person she truly loved, the only other person was left to suffer and die.
Which
her
one?
Grandmother.
I forgot.
Her grandmother. This whole thing is because she says it in season 4 when she's talking to Newman. She says, "My grandmother had cancer, and I stayed up 3 days and figured out a cure for it. And they laughed at me. My grandmother died screaming in pain. That is why she's like, I could cure cancer, I could end world hunger, I could do all that, but fuck them." That's
actually why I think Sage, to me, has been the most interesting character by far since she's been introduced, is from the standpoint of she kind of perfectly embodies what Black women in America have to deal with all the time, where they are far and away more equipped mentally and achievement wise and everything else, and they're sitting here telling you what the fuck is going on, and they figured out ways to solve this shit, but nobody listens to them, takes them seriously. And so what she ended up doing in that regard, out of her anger and her rage, is she said, fine, if y'all motherfuckers are going to do this to me, then I'm going to fuck you over and I'm going to get mine. And the only thing that made her not then realize to keep manipulating Homelander and everything is, like she said, love doesn't make sense, because Soldier Boy was the one that ultimately turned it over to Homelander to get the V1, and it wasn't because of his love for Homelander, it was because of his love for Clara. And she could not deal with that. That is why all of a sudden she's like,
never
fuck
knew.
this.
But you know why she couldn't? Because she never knew. All the discussions, think about this. All of the minus that one little discussion during the desk in Seven Tower. Here's the thing. That's the only time Soldier Boy found out that Stormfront was Liberty. Right? That was it. Right. Other than that, she was never privy to the conversation Soldier Boy and Homelander had been having about her. She didn't know about them. So because she didn't know, she couldn't plan for it.
Right.
So again, all that when Back Ashley reads his mind, like, oh, he's a little bit proud of Homelander, but he don't want to admit it. It's only because that's all he knows of. They don't know about the conversations about Clara. So she couldn't plan for it.
See, I thought that she did, but love doesn't make sense to her. That's what I thought happened. I thought she knew.
Love was just the love of Soldier. Remember, her idea for love with those two.
See, the only reason why I don't necessarily know if I agree with you is, like you said, because she was in love with Godolkin. And so the issue with that is Godolkin obviously knew all about fucking Liberty and Stormfront and Soldier Boy. Matt wants to say something. Maybe Matt remembers something I'm forgetting.
She doesn't know the level of, she didn't understand the level of love. Because again, the way Soldier Boy, when they went to go see Mr. Marathon, when he looks at the picture, every time he talks about it, the way he brings things up, it's the way Soldier Boy feels, right? Way he feels. With Homelander talking about it, Sage knows nothing about that. You wanted to say something, Matt?
I was actually saying, I watched this earlier today. Winston is correct. She was talking about love in general. She said love in general fucked up her plans. I
understand that part. I know that part. I'm not discrediting that part. But again, her idea of just looking at love was looking at love with love for Soldier, a father and son.
But that's the thing, is I genuinely think
specifically that a fucking prune wouldn't, or she thought a fucking brain dead prune would get in the way of it.
No, yeah, but she didn't. She didn't. Right, she didn't think that, like, the Clara part, because that was the part she never planned for it. She said it. I never thought a Nazi stump. Right, you're right. She does say it. You're right, Matt. She's like, I never thought a Nazi stump, because she did not. She had no. It couldn't fathom to her that Soldier Boy loved her as much, if not more, than Homelander did. She never thought about that.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm not trying to cut anything off. I just because I know we're running low on time, and I want to get to our Karen.
So then you got that. So then we have arguably our second major death of the season.
It's not even the set because it's been continuous because we lost A-Train episodes ago.
That's when I don't consider Firecracker major per se.
It is in that she was a main character that was at the forefront of all of this. You also then lost Black Noir previously in the previous episode.
Hey, man, that was Black Noir too, man. I don't give a fuck.
I get it, but we're talking about mainstay people that are being offed. This is the first of the actual boys, though, that we've lost.
Yes.
And that is Frenchie. He sacrificed himself to save Kimiko. They were trying to give her Soldier Boy's ability.
She got it. I think she got it.
I think she did. But I don't think this is going to be the end of these deaths. I think we're going to lose plenty more of them when it's all said and done.
I think MM is gone.
I think they're going to let MM have his happy ending and be back with his family. I think he and Huey, in my opinion, might be the only two that live.
Starlight is for sure about him.
I think Starlight will probably sacrifice herself. I think Kimiko's ultimately going to sacrifice. Kimiko might also live in the sense that, and unfortunately, she has to live with the death. I think that might be the three, but I think you're going to lose. Butcher's going to die. I think Starlight's going to die.
You know how I think Butcher dies? I think Butcher dies in I think it's a very graphic way. I think Homelander rips the tumor out of him.
Yeah, I could see that. I think
Homelander grabs those tentacles and rips that bitch up out of him.
I could see that for sure. But anyway, streamlabs.com/blerds-in-the-hood/tip, streamlabs.com/blerds-in-the-hood/tip. Thank you so much for indulging us on that. We got to jump into this right away because I got to get the fuck up out of here. You already know what time it is. An ode to Karen's.
Yeah, but we still punish her.
Oh, we'll talk about it after Karen's.
And now, an ode to Karen's, brought to you by Blerds in the Hood. Now, before we go into this dedication, you must be asking yourself, well, what is a Karen and what does it mean? Well, Karen is a mocking slang term for an entitled, obnoxious, middle-aged white woman, especially as featured in memes. Karen is generally stereotyped as having a blonde bob haircut, asking to speak to retail and restaurant managers to voice complaints or make demands, and being a nagging, often divorced mother from Generation X. Karens most notably have been known now to call the police on black people when they're just doing this thing called living. You know, something that God allowed them to do. This includes Barbecue Becky, Permit Patty, Sleepin' Sarah, and a host of others. And typically Karens feel that because they are white women, they are entitled to do whatever they want and make life choices based on their insecurities as well as fears. Well, here are a few moments of wild Karens caught in their natural habitat.
So, this one, you gotta love body cam footage video when we get it, right? This one here is a nice little two-parter. Is that part one? Yep, there you go. Y'all enjoy. Oh, just watch the entitlement, okay? Enjoy the entitlement.
I'm okay with that.
Honey,
do
you think I would be here if I don't want to be here?
I don't know you. I don't even know why you're here. So that's where we are.
This is about a respecting.
Are you a member here, ma'am?
I'm going to show you.
I just want to know if you're a member. They're trying to figure out if you're a member or not.
Okay, well, that's the thing. So they don't even, I'm about to call my mother and father, and, you're both, everybody's disrespecting the of me, and, that's the thing.
Okay, well, right now I'm going to ask you for your identification,
That's
okay?
fine, but you know what? I'm going to show you, I want a refund for my...
Go ahead and show me your ID, ma'am.
You know what? You can go off. You can...
No, you're done. You're done.
No, you know what?
Stop. No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I
apologize.
No, it's too late for apologizing.
Your back.
Okay, I apologize.
Stop, ma'am, stop. Okay. Do not fight. Okay. Ma'am, listen, do not fight. Stop fighting.
I'm not fighting.
Do not resist, okay? Right now you are under arrest and you're resisting. Stop.
Listen.
Ma'am, listen, you are resisting arrest right now. Stop.
Okay, can you stop? Can you stop? Can you stop? Stop. Can you stop? This is fine, right? It's out.
Get down on the ground.
Get
down.
Is this funny?
Okay.
What? Is this funny, guys? Is this funny, guys?
I'm not laughing. My fingers in it. Hold on.
Is this 22 high?
Got it.
Wait, is this 22 high?
Beautiful.
Wait, is this 22 high? Wait.
You all right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what could have been a simple conversation just turned into you being handcuffed.
Stand up.
Yeah. Yep. You want to open his door?
Okay, so. Okay, so.
Let me cut her down, but I hope you guys see real quick.
Ow, ow.
Put your foot down and stop kicking me. Put your foot down and stop kicking me.
Alright. Move anything? You got it.
Relax. Okay. Have a seat in there. Come on. Have a seat back.
You know,
Ma'am, listen. Back up in there.
this is not.
Go backwards. Go backwards. Can you pull her back?
Wait, what? What?
This way.
Wait, what? What is going on? What is going on? Excuse me. What is
Relax.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
But wait for it. There's more.
I don't even know what the fuck I did. I didn't want the alias number.
I'm a female, still female on board.
Are you arresting me?
Mileage is 51130.
Are you arresting me?
Yes, ma'am. You are under arrest.
Why?
Because you're going to have several charges. Well, I don't know. We told you you were under arrest and you decided to kick and fight.
That's not true.
Okay.
I think you got the girl confused. Why does somebody have my property?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know what? I need my property.
You'll get it when you get to the jail.
So nobody even told me what I was being arrested for. So
You're being arrested for probably one misdemeanor and one felony.
I'm gonna jump out of the car and then I'm gonna get another felony.
Door's locked.
Huh?
Door's locked. You're not getting out of the vehicle.
Okay. Well,
If you try and get out of the vehicle, I'll charge you with escape too.
you're charging me with what?
Escape.
Oh well, is that why somebody wanted to make sure they got my property? Oh, can we all go to my parents' house? I would love. Can we please go to my parents' house because it's right here. Can we please I don't want can we please Oh, thank you so much.
Ma'am, listen up real quick, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to your lawyer and have him or her present with you while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, won't be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or any statements. Do you understand each of these rights that I've just read to you?
Can you tell me what that means?
That I've explained to you? Do you understand?
Can you tell me what that means?
Okay. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me?
Can you tell me what that means?
You think she was drunk? What do you think the fuck's going on with this?
I think she might have been a little bit intoxicated, but also I think there is also a level of privilege that goes along where you're like, oh, can you just drop me off at my parents' house?
That's stupid as shit, bro. Stupid as shit. So dumb.
So you can just let me go. Okay, I'm good. Because you did that whole, okay, I'm good. You can let me go now. Like, that's not how this works at all.
That's not how this works.
That's not how this works at all.
That's not how this works.
What do you? No.
What?
Also, shouts out to Joseph Ashley sent to the Streamlab says, are you going to see Is God Is with Vivica Fox and Sterling K. Brown? Seems not talked about.
So my answer to that question is Joseph Ashley. Go and watch my Out of the Theater reaction after you're done with the show. I actually did address all of this. It is, I'll tell you right now, but there's more to kind of hear from that, and I'll probably do a bigger review later on. That might end up as one of my top 10 movies of the year. It is fantastic.
Okay.
It is absolutely fantastic. And I don't know if I know. Shout out to the young ladies that are in it. I don't remember the ladies' names off the top of my head. I think Carrie Young and hold on, I'll look it up. But Sterling K. Brown, that might be the greatest Sterling K. Brown performance I've ever seen. He was absolutely terrifying. Please go and see this movie. It's kind of on a smaller release type scenario, but go and see that movie. It is fucking fantastic. But I will warn anybody, trigger warning just for domestic violence. That's at the center of this story, is that Sterling K. Brown is abusive and fucked up his ex-wife Vivica A. Fox and subsequently his twin daughters. So just be aware of that. But yeah. So
real quick, we got a bunch of comments from earlier in regards to the upcoming roast. It says Matt's roast is going to be infamous shot episode. People, let's go.
It'll very similar to the Wings episode where a lot of shots will be.
Bill Blue Girl 718 says people giving up their bill money for this. What are white women at? Seriously, Matt needs to know so he can go to a safe space. Please switch to After Dark when y'all start.
Shit, man.
Define the we love Matt.
That's fucked up, yo. That's fucked up. Oh shit. That's funny.
That's fair. Sending all the jokes for them so Matt can fire back when it's his turn.
Here's
the thing. If you want to, so I'll say this, and I wanted to wait to say this part.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to send us roast jokes that you have, do not send them through the Streamlab. Send them through the Streamlab because we only have the access to that, right?
Yep. So you can either send it. You can send it to any of them.
CashApp or Venmo. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure he couldn't see them.
Yep. Nope. He'd be good. He doesn't have access to that.
He doesn't have access to it.
So I'm just gonna say right now because I wanted to check my calendar. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it a whole event. It'll be a thing. We will advertise the fuck out of it so y'all don't fucking miss it. It'll give people more time. If you want to send in your jokes and stuff like that, that'll give us time to work with Matt. And to make sure he's good on stuff.
He said I do. He said I do. I just don't use it. I'm gonna say what he said publicly this time. So with that being said, if you want to send in your donations for roast jokes, send them to our Cash App and Venmos. That's it. This way he cannot see them. Nope. You shouldn't have told me you had access to it.
You really could have.
No, I was just saying. I have the Blerd's email, so I can sign in. I just don't. You know it.
Again, you didn't even need to say that. You could just let it be. Like I was saying, please send them to our Cash App.
Everybody just self snitches. He literally, even if he wasn't going to use it, he could have just said nothing, and there would have been
nothing. He could have just said.
That's really
nothing.
Funny. So we will definitely be doing that. So I just want to give y'all a heads up because I'm realizing I have work next Wednesday. So we will announce it. My guess is Jay, because the other thing Matt said specifically, and I will give him credit because he's like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna need to be able to drink. What is for me now? It looks all right. What does the 24th to Sunday look like for you?
Well,
because we could do it as essentially After Dark / the roast of Matt on if that day works.
Yeah, the 24th works for me.
Okay, so we'll verify. We will both post on our social medias. We'll tweet about it to make sure, because I'm just going to double check with my better half that there isn't something I'm forgetting. But most likely it'll be
nothing.
I was just going to say the next day is Memorial Day.
Oh,
we know. I know. So
paying attention, so that's on me. So okay, so I'll double check and make sure that works. But most likely it'll be Sunday the 24th. It will be a special Blerds in the Hood. Blerds in the Hood presents the roast of Matt Thomas. So do not miss that. But Jay, tell them what you got going on and where they can support you and all that shit, man.
So as of right now, I will be. I'm in Culver City first on Saturday night at 8, and then 10 p.m. I'm at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. I'll be there. I will be at the Hollywood Improv as of right now next Thursday, May 21st for Cult Comedy. And then I've got some other dates I'm finalizing. The Comedy Store on the 28th. I'll be there. A bunch of other stuff coming up. I would say, as always, please follow me on socials at MrJayWashington. It means a lot. Also, if you have watched, I'm just curious. You can bring him back. I don't need to be on solo.
Yep.
I just need to see people in the comments. If anybody's watching this season of Euphoria,
I am. I wasn't sure if I saw you or not, but I know you said you're in the next. You're in the next. Episode,
yeah. So the Silver Slipper gets a new bouncer this Sunday. So
that's what it is. Cool.
The Silver Slipper gets a new bouncer this Sunday, so you can put 2 and 2 together from that. Let's just do that. So he'll be in there briefly. So it won't be a long. Do not be like, oh, it wasn't that long ago. I know this episode was not the one. So
there's a better one coming.
There's a better one coming. So just check that out. Yeah, that's really everything right there. So yeah, what about you, my brother?
And you can find me at TheSwaggyBlerd on all platforms. Please go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe to that. I would greatly appreciate it. I've been doing a lot more out of the theater reactions and reviews. I've got some more video essay stuff coming out, more comedy coming out, and all that kind of stuff. But specifically, please go and watch my out of the theater reaction for Is God Is, and then make a decision about whether or not you're going to see the movie. It does indeed drop. Today's preview day, so it officially releases tomorrow. I'm genuinely blown away. It was that good. So check all that out. Spill the Tequila on Tuesdays with me and Roca. Obviously here with Jay on Wednesdays. Normally, though, obviously the day fluctuates. Hell, it's a Thursday. We've done some on Tuesdays, but stay glued here. Capes and Cows on Friday. Myself, Christian, and Chris Carr. Obviously things are shifting a little bit, but more of that will be kind of announced as that's going on. So don't miss all of that, man. And then just stay glued to your TV screens. I don't have a date specific. That's not how advertising works when my commercial is dropping, but I am very excited about that. So if one of y'all sees it, please don't hesitate to shoot me a screenshot of it via social medias, just so I even know that it's out, because I won't really know until I see it or somebody tells me. So all of that, man. But again, we will let you know specifically about what we're doing with the show tomorrow, next week, if we're going to do a pre-tape or what. But currently, the pending date for the roast of Matt Thomas, thank you to everybody that donated to make that happen, is Sunday the 24th. If that date doesn't work, we will hammer out a date, we'll schedule it, and we will let you know ASAP, because, oh, bro, I honestly feel in my fucking bones this is going to be the Hot Ones episode all over again. This is going to be one of those epic ones that goes down. And again, if you want to send your own roasted jokes of Matt, you can send it to the Venmo or the Cash App, again, at TheSwaggyBlerd or at MrJayWashington. They will be a part of the show. Obviously, if there is one of them that goes too far, that's outside the bounds, we'll deal with that as it comes, and make sure that those don't get ripped. But we'll sort all that out one way or the other. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching this episode, y'all. We appreciate you. We're going to get the fuck up out of here. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, bitch.
Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch.
Boy, gonna get lit up like all the white women he like when they have sunburn.
No, look at they got look at his ass, man. Oh God, he's just thinking to himself, man, if I had just kept my mouth shut,
boy,
enjoyed this sarsaparilla.
We finna let your ass, you and that Billy Ocean curl have it, nigga. Oh my God. Nigga got Yamo be their hairline. Oh my Jesus.
I am calling George tomorrow. I cannot wait to see if this nigga will get on this roast with us, man.
I'm calling a barber tomorrow to get on this nigga in advance. Like it's